Howdy. I've been meaning to do this video for 2 years, and we have some people coming over, so we had to clean up the guest cabin. So I finally figured I'd do the video, and I have it nice and cleaned out. We spent the morning moving tools and stuff out. We had most of the tools out, but a lot of them are still in there. This was my overview of our $3,500 small cabin. The $3,500 is what we spent to build it. A lot of that has to do with the choices we made and resources available to us. The wood was mostly sourced locally, except for pressure treated. We have access to sawmills in the area, and they did all the exterior wood you see, the framing. I have a whole build series, and I'll link to that in the description at the bottom when we built this place. But most of the wood that's not pressure treated or plywood came from the Amish, and we have local Amish communities in the area. The steel roofing came from an Amish press. They can produce up to 60-foot long sections, so we can get whatever we want made. It's a nice resource for us. Without that, we could get it from Home Depot, but they're stuck with whatever sizes they have. The chimney we got from the Amish again, and a double-walled chimney with thimble and all that for $300 or $250 I think we spent. It's hard to beat. You can't find that type of prices. This is a 3-season cabin. In the wintertime it is cold. The floor is not insulated. So, and the windows in the front, the big large windows you see, are just storm windows. There's no interior windows at all. So we built it as a 3-season cabin, and it works well in that respect. So it is 12 by 24 with a sleeping loft over the back 10 feet. That's someday we're going to put a railing up. We've never gotten around to it. We finally got people interested in staying. We built it for one family, and they ended up buying land and building their own place, so it never got a lot of use. Some of our cousins. So it's sat kind of vacant for the last couple of years, doing little odd projects and slowly improving the area around it. This is for people who watch my channel regularly. You know where it is, but we have a sugar shack right over here we built a couple of years ago. I have a series on that. Actually, last year we built that. I have a series on that as well. My cabin is about 600 feet from the front of this. It kind of gives a little bit of seclusion, and this is not too far from the road, but in the summertime with the greenery in, you can't see it from the road. But you can hear the Amish going up and down the hill. You hear clippity cloppity clippity cloppity as they go. So let's go inside, and I'll give you a tour of the inside. And if you're looking for any details on the project, like I said, I'll link to the build on it. My father-in-law has poured concrete pads in the front for a little landing area, and we had Amish build us a little settee set about 2 years ago, and had them build me a cedar swing glider for my place. So we're going to go in. I'm going to turn the camera on and off just because I got to redo the settings for inside. So here's the interior view. We have a wood stove in the front corner. We got that from that family that was going to use it. They gave it to us, and then they never used the wood stove. On top of that is a little oven I got from a buddy of mine. We have a kitchen area over here. We had Amish make us a little stainless steel backsplash, and I built the counter area that we store dishes, wash tubs. I have a kerosene cook stove for here, but I'm actually going to leave my Coleman because the kerosene can be complicated for people who aren't used to it. For lighting, this is a off-grid cabin. There's no electricity out here. We've thought about doing it. Problem is, we're in the woods and there's not a lot of sun around, so I might have to build something where I charge it out at my place, and then you can have night lights out here. We're not sure yet if we're ever going to do that or not. The siding on the sides is 1 by miscellaneous that we got from Amish. There's different sizes in different areas. It's whatever we had around, and we did it in a horizontal manner. When we put them in, they were nice and tight. They shrunk afterwards because they were green, and we need to chink the gaps. That's been on our to-do list for a long time and never got around to it. So like I said, here's the kitchen area. This is a space is 12 by 14. You have a ladder that goes up to the loft upstairs, and the sleeping loft I just figured for kids. The trap door in the back that actually will take you to that dresser on the back. The idea was if there was ever fire, it was an alternate method to get out of the building. On the right side is the indoor outhouse. It has a sawdust toilet. I have a build video on that as well, and I'll link to that. They built that so that people could, mostly for middle of the night use, because the outhouse is actually not very far away. We built a nice little dining room set. We just used plastic furniture for that. We have lots of kerosene lights and lanterns. I like kerosene, but a lot of people aren't used to it. So we have one kerosene light here. We have one hanging in the back over here, right in the middle of that window. The front door just came through. We have a small wood storage area inside. We have a large wood storage area outside, and then we have 15 or 20 cord of split wood that's around our sugar shack. We keep on adding on to it. Decorative, I like old wood saws. I've cleaned up these, and they're wall hangers. They're relatively sharp, but they're not for use. They're just there for because I like the way they look. The axe could be used. It's very sharp, but I prefer my Fiskars. I don't have to worry about them ever breaking, and if they do break, they're warranted for life. So wood stoves over here. It's a more modern design than at my cabin. You can control the airflow, and it has a secondary burner, so you can control the airflow to that, so that it's fairly efficient. For this particular space, it's a big stove, but if I stayed here in the winter, and even with this thing cranking, it's not cold, but it's cool. So, like I said, it's not we didn't build it as a 3-season cabin, or a 4-season cabin, because the windows are just storm windows out here. We've never had a problem with rain coming through them. There's no water infiltration in here at all. So it's worked, and that was one of the ways we were able to save a lot of money and have this much light in this area. We picked those up off Craigslist for $50 or $75, and we actually have 4 more that came with it that we never used. So I could take into the bathroom, but it's a dark room. I have a flashlight. Let me see if it works for the area. There's a small bathroom, probably 3 feet by 4 feet. We didn't need a large space. Get the flashlight out here. So we have a sawdust toilet down here, and mice like to get in here. That's always the fact of country living, is they end up getting mice on a place you're not in all the time. But we store our paints up above the top, and we have a small cabinet here for toiletries and whatnot, hanging chair. And we can close that off, but I have an old iron on the floor. So go into the back. I'm going to use the flashlight on because it's a little darker in here. These windows we got free. Somebody was throwing them out, and anytime I can get free windows, I take them. My barn's actually, I have 6 or 8 free windows. My dad's got another free window for me. You never know when you're going to need them. So I build my cabins around the windows I can find to save money. Very rare do I pay for a window. But we finished these walls the same way we did the front section. It's a horizontal. No shiplapping is done at all. And we left this open over here. Figured people could put items on the cross pieces we tossed in there. Small cabinet my dad built for people to put things in. And we picked up this futon just recently from a family member who was moving, and now we have a futon back here, which is what I actually wanted. The idea is if I pull it away from the walls, the metal legs are hard for mice to climb up. Not saying impossible, but hard. So we shouldn't have mice issues. We didn't build this particular area for this bunk bed, but it just happened to fit perfectly. So we have 2 bunk beds. So down here you can sleep 4, an adult and 2 small kids, comfortably. And upstairs, the sleeping loft area, you could sleep 2 more kids. So you could sleep 6 in this cabin. You know, that would probably be a bit tight. As long as the weather's nice, it wouldn't be that bad. So I'm going to go up the ladder, which we built. And it's a bit of a steep, so I'll see if I can hold on to everything while I go up. So we put down rubber flooring on top of the wood flooring down in here. In the back corner is that trap door we built. Like I said, the idea was if there was ever a fire, you had an alternate method of egress, because that window there is small. A child could get out it. But we've had to cover it with chicken wire because of chipmunks and squirrels were digging through the screen. So we had to cover it with chicken wire, which makes it harder to get out. We have storage in both crevices in the corners, so you can get access to it. Right now we just have some extra boards in there, and these run the length of the building, or of the loft. The ceiling is a shiplap that we had custom milled, so they're thin. They're only 1/2 inch thick boards. That made it lighter. We were worried about the weight of all this extra wood. This cabin is built on elephant feet, concrete elephant feet. The idea initially was that we wouldn't have to pull a permit if we did that. In the end, we did pull a permit anyways. So we could have put a regular flooring in, but the cabin's been up for about 4 years now and has not had any issues with settling. It's still very level, and based on 4 years, in this past winter we had quite a bit of snow. I don't think it's going to have any settling issues. We have extra of that flooring material, and the flooring downstairs is just plywood. I'm climbing up further. It's just plywood that we've painted. So there's Otis. Say hi, Otis. He's in a lot of my videos. You hear him walking. This will probably be his last summer. We just found out he has cancer, and this will be his last summer probably. We're not treating it. I looked at the treatment, and to me, they said it was going to be, you get an extra 12 months of life on average, and I don't feel like putting him through chemotherapy for 12 months. So he's on a pain medication regimen right now, and that's it. So this would be his last summer at the cabin. Yeah, on that happy note, let me get back to the cabin here. Like I said, eventually we're going to put a railing up over here. That's been on the to-do list for a while. We thought we had a line on some iron railing, and that fell through, so we'll probably build something sooner or later. I'd like to do maybe a log style, where I put tenons on the end of like 2-inch maple sticks, and then build a railing out of that. I think it would look cool. Down there you can see above from the kitchen, we keep pots and pans down here. Just saw a chipmunk run by outside. So we keep pots and pans here. Propane for the lantern. We fill our own propane containers so we can keep on using those almost indefinitely. We're gonna put a shelf on both sides up above, and probably fill in those white areas someday. It's a lot of work actually, because working above your head, it's awful work. But we're going to put shelves on both sides, mostly for display items. I always tell people everything in the cabin can be used. Doesn't mean I actually use it. Like those saws are entirely usable. I just don't use them. I have a chainsaw. Every once in a while I'll take one out, and I have a couple working saws. But most of the time they just stay up on the wall. Those like buck saws I've never used after I got them the first time. I have chainsaws, they work much faster. Up here we get 2 cots, and we keep them folded up. I have an old army cot and I need to have new canvas made for that one. I love the Amish do it. But let me go back down. So we're back downstairs again. Anyone who follows my channel know, yeah, we have my cabin, barn, tool shed that we built. We built this. We built the sugar shack. We built last fall we built a hunting blind out of pallets. I'd like to do a couple more pallet hunting blinds up above. Our property is around 50 acres, a little bit over, and it belongs to my father-in-law. We come down here almost every weekend and work on different projects. I always try to tell people it's a lot more work than you think, owning this type of property. You know, just the lawn mowing alone takes time. If you don't do it regularly, it adds up. And we need to shop for a new tractor. I'm sick of fixing my old tractor, so we're shopping now for a new like 35 to 40 horsepower diesel tractor with a loader, because this past winter we couldn't get in. It was too much snow. My father-in-law needed propane, so we had to dig our way in, and luckily somebody came by and offered to take the driveway up to where we filled almost with a front end loader, a big one. So we can't afford anything like that, but yeah, we come out here enough. We're going to invest in a good diesel loader. Let's go back outside. I'll show you how the foundation works. So I'm going to come over here. My father-in-law just tilled this area up and put some grass seed that will be shade tolerant down. So you can try to get some grass in here. You can see the foundation system we have. Every 8 feet we have a post, and that post sits on one of those concrete elephant feet. And then I put 45s on both sides for stability. If you're really interested in the build of it, the build series goes into detail on all my different parts, from clearing the land to basically the finished cabin. But on the end here, you can see we have 3 main beams, and these support the cabin. And like I said, we've had no settling issues with this system at all. Those feet are sitting on a couple feet of gravel we put down. We dug the holes out. And I know this is a little bit dark, so let me fix that. Okay, so the each one of those elephant feet is sitting on a couple feet of gravel, and we have had no settling issues whatsoever with this. We were kind of worried about it, but I saw videos from people up in Alaska using the same system. Granted, they have permafrost and we don't, but I figured if it works up there, it could work here, and it has worked. From out here you can see the profile of the cabin. There's the back bedroom window, one window, and the window above. And like I said, we had to cover that one up with screen. Only 2 boards were missing. We never trimmed out the end. We just noticed that, we forgot. So it's on our to-do list. But the squirrels and chipmunks are always a menace. We tinned out the soffits because they were digging through there, and they keep on finding new ways in, and then we have to get rid of them. Like I said, we spent $3,500 on this, and it would be hard to do that if you went to Home Depot and bought all your material. It would be impossible to do that if you went to Home Depot to buy all your materials. We scrounge a lot for materials. People know that I'll take windows. We built the front door, we built the interior doors. Doing those types of things add up to a huge amount of savings. The wood stove being donated saved a couple $100, but I've never spent more than $200 on a wood stove. So, and the design was my own design. Kind of built it as we figured it out as we were going along. I do that a lot with my projects. I have a basic idea, but we were thinking initially of doing a barn style roof, and then we changed in the end to doing a simpler roof. It's a very steep pitch, and it sheds the snow well, which out here we get a lot of snow, so that's a big deal. This is right in the middle of our maple syrup operation, so it's nice. It gives, we can warm this up in the wintertime too, if we want to get out of the cold. But like I said, I posted. A friend of mine was planning her dream off-grid cabin, and I happened to walk in on her at the fire hall doing that, and I said, you know, I have a off-grid cabin that's sitting empty. You know, you're welcome to use it. So she was interested in it. I posted up a picture, and 4 or 5 of our friends said, you know, we wouldn't mind spending a weekend up here. So yeah, it's a good location. We have hiking trails throughout the woods, and yeah, we're going to cut more trails in as time permits. But for now, we probably have about 1.5 miles or 2 miles of hiking trails. And we're going to work on the one across the road right now. That's my next project for today. It's the 4th of July, so that's my last project for today, because we'll go watch the fireworks at nearby Chautauqua Lake. It's one of the things people can go do. Is Chautauqua Lake is not far. It's about half an hour by car. And I'm sorry this is probably shaky. It's the best I can do. But yeah. The big thing with doing a project like this to stay on budget is to be creative and look for what's available in your area. If you don't have Amish, you might have local sawyers, and they post on Craigslist a lot. This is made out of hemlock, which is a local wood for us, and it's cheap. There's probably different areas of the country probably have a different local wood that is cheap. Like I said, it's just be creative. But it's for $3,500, and you can pick up a small lot of land for a lot of times $5,000 or $10,000 for small ones. Bigger lots are usually less per acre. But a small lot of land, you know, you could have an outlay of under $20,000 and have a nice weekend place, which is what this is for us. Yeah, this weekend getaway. I live in the city, so I need this. But if you have any questions, you can feel free to comment, like and share. I'd love to get more viewers. This year's been busy for me. I haven't been posting as much, but I try to post regularly as I can. But and I will link to the whole build series on this. There's about 15 or 20 videos from blank earth to this. It goes over everything we did in detail to build this and the type of materials we use along the way. So if you like it, please subscribe, and until next time, thanks for watching.